This week, NBC News is highlighting the stories of everyday people who mysteriously vanished in our series, Missing in America. Over the years, our friends at Dateline have covered hundreds of missing persons cases.
Now the team is debuting a new podcast called Dateline Missing in America, focusing on 6 different disappearances.
We're going to talk to Dateline's Josh Mankiewicz in a moment, but first, he has a little more about one of those cases.
It's dawn in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona. Volunteers are searching for a young man who's been missing since June of 2021. His name, Daniel Robinson. And leading the search, Daniel's father, David.
Where is everybody located?
For more than a year, the mystery of what happened to Daniel has stumped investigators and a father desperate to find his son.
He's a very bright, intelligent geologist.
Last year, David moved from South Carolina to Arizona.
I just grabbed everything I had and just started driving, and I made it here.
He began his search at a desert well site where Daniel was working on the day he disappeared. He spoke with Daniel's co-worker about that day.
He did tell me that my son seemed like he was acting really quiet, and then he told me my son decided to just kind of waved off to him, got in this vehicle, and drove off.
David says his son was not depressed and describes him as happy. In July 2021 came a break. A rancher found Daniel's Jeep rolled over in a remote ravine.
When I first saw that crash, I was really devastated.
The car was badly damaged and no sign of Daniel. To help make sense of this scene, David hired private investigator Jeff McGrath.
There was nothing along this route that the vehicle took into that bottom ravine that matched the damage. It's telling me the vehicle was probably crashed somewhere else. Either moved here or it was continued to be driven.
And that is where Daniel's case stands. David wants to get more attention and resources into searching for Daniel.
I'm going to bring my son home alive.
He's hoping someone out there might have information that could help find his son.
He never give up on anything. I definitely won't give up on him.
Wow.
Holy moly.
My goodness. Dateline's Josh Mankiewicz joins us now. Good morning to you.
Hey, Josh.
Good morning.
So we're all literally talking back to the television, which is what people do at home. People get sucked into these cases. So hopefully we can get some breaks. Let's talk about Daniel Robinson's case. It's the first episode from the Dateline Missing in America podcast. Where does his case stand now?
Right now, he's still missing. It was a year around the end of June. They're still searching. David Robinson remains convinced that he's going to find his son and eventually bring him home alive. And you know, they need tips, they need help. And one of the reasons that Andrea Canning and I are doing this podcast series is that, you know, these are not typical Dateline cases. By the time we usually bring you a Dateline, it's over, it's solved. We know what happened. In this case, we don't. All kinds of theories are possible, and this is a time when people who listen to these podcasts really can contribute and really can help, because maybe something you know, something you remember, something you didn't think was important at the time, that could be vitally important to investigators and to these families, which really need answers.
Let's dive into that a little more, because that's something so interesting about this. Listeners can, through social media or through going to the site, really contribute if they saw something or if they heard something, and that's really a first, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is something that people are doing more and more, which is wanting to contribute to this sort of whole process that they see unfolding either on social media or on television. And this is an opportunity. I mean, there's a website that Daniel's father set up called pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. So you can go there. You can call the police in Buckeye, Arizona. You can go to our website. We have information right there on the screen. So, you know, there are lots of ways in which people can help. You know, police often talk about cases being solved through either changes in technology, things like DNA, or changes in circumstances. People realize, oh, you know, I'm not going to cover for you anymore. We're not together anymore. I'm not going to continue to tell that lie. Or just somebody remembers something that they didn't think was important at the time, or that they thought investigators maybe already knew. things like that can really be vitally important.
It's really incredible. Josh, I feel like every time I look at the iTunes charts, there's another Dateline podcast at the top of the charts. The Thing About Pam is one that sticks out to me, but that comes from the incredible team and the producers and you guys at Dateline. This was different because this came from fans of Dateline. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, back in 2005, I did a story for Dateline about how the TV in particular didn't cover missing black people the way we cover missing white people. From that, in part, came our digital series, Missing in America, in which people would contact us and tell us stories that needed to be covered, stories of the missing, stories that weren't getting coverage. One of the things that's abundantly clear is that sort of public attention and news media attention frequently drives law enforcement and makes a case more important. It makes people want to spend more resources and time on it. I mean, one of the sad truths is that police departments in this country, they're not really set up to find missing people. Yeah. They're set up to, deal with the crimes that are coming in today and yesterday, and so it's missing persons is very rarely a priority, which is one reason why people calling in, people with things they remember, people with things with tips. It can make a huge difference.
Let's hope it makes a difference. I mean, as you were talking, we were showing video scrolling, and it's just so many faces that we've never heard about. I know you're going to tackle other cases. Josh, thank you for your time. And for everybody at home, you can listen to Dateline Missing in America now, wherever you get your podcasts. Or you can scan this QR code on your screen and you can start listening. The first 2 episodes are available now.
Wow, incredible. And his brother Ben was my first co-anchor and my first job ever.
Legendary
really?
family on television.
Full circle there.
Yep, full circle.